Hey, it's Andy from Beyond Guitar, and in this video we're going to discuss all the different bar chord exercises for anyone that struggles with how to learn bar chords. Okay, here we go. We're going to go through a whole bunch of exercises. The different exercises are the rolling method, build a bar, the traveling bar, fingertip muting, squeeze and let go or the scratch method, the hinge bar, and then every finger possibility. And then at the end, we'll cover hammers. Let's get started. So the first thing that I want you to do is build a bar chord. Here we go. We're going to start on the 5th fret. Okay, play the 5th fret on string 1. And what I want you to do is I want you to get used to the squeeze and let go method, where you squeeze the note and then you let go. Okay, so you're going to squeeze it and let go. And that makes staccato. Learn that first. Okay, when you're ready, cover 2 strings with a flattened out finger. It's important that your finger is straight up and down. It's important that your finger is not bending at all, that it's perfectly straight. You can even go a little bit on the side if you think it's easier. But right now I'm going to go straight on. And I'm going to get as close to the fret as I can. Don't use other fingers to help you squeeze. Just work on your first finger, your pointer finger. Work on your squeeze and let go method. Just play those 2 strings. Only play 2 strings right now. You may discover that you're pressing on one a little bit more than the other. And so you have to press them both equally. Can you hear both notes? There should be 2 notes. Okay, now let's do 3 strings. Once you get it, then do 4 strings. Make sure your thumb is on the back, right behind where your finger is. And if you want to, you can test out the sound of each string one at a time to make sure they're all there. If you succeed, then try 5 strings. And last but not least, all 6 strings. Okay, now for the sake of the video, I've curled up my fingers and got the other fingers out of the way so that you can see, but I never play that way. I simply let them float above the strings so the other fingers are in playing position. Okay, let's review. We started on string 1. Now do string 2. Now do 3 strings. Now 4 strings. Now 5 strings. Now 6 strings. And that's the build a bar exercise. That's the first thing that you can start with. Practice that every day. Okay, let's move on. Now the second thing we're going to work on is called the hinge bar. And a door opens on a hinge and swings and swivels. And so this is the door. Your bar chord is the door, and the hinge is where you go like this. This is the hinge bar, where you tilt it in different directions, okay? So right now, I am going to press down the thickest string. That's the low E string. Now I'm going to swing it over and swivel over here, and I'm going to cover just the thinnest string, just string 1. It's the only string I'm worried about right now. Okay, now I'll swivel it over back to string 6. Now I'll swivel it over to string 1. See, string 6, string 1, string 6, string 1. That's called a hinge bar. That's a hinge bar. This practice will help you master keeping your fingers straight This will help you learn your bar chords. Okay, now what if I cover the 3 thickest strings? And now what if I cover the 3 skinny strings? And I can roll it back and forth. I can cover the big strings and the little strings. By rolling it back and forth like that, that's called a hinge bar. Okay, so we got the idea of the hinge bar. Let's keep going. The next exercise is called the traveling bar. And what you do in this exercise is you play 2 strings at a time. Okay, so I'm going to use the tip of my finger to play the first 2 guitar strings. Let's do a close-up. Okay, now I'm going to play guitar string 2 and guitar string 3, so I moved it over. And now I will play guitar string 4 and guitar string 3, so the 2 central strings of the guitar. And now I will play string 5 and string 4 together. And now I will play the lowest 2 strings of the guitar. And as you can see, I'm just only focused on the tip of the finger, and I'm not really worried about the rest of my finger or playing a full bar across all the strings. Instead, I'm just doing 2 strings at a time. The traveling bar. First 2 strings, the next 2, the next 2, next 2, next 2. Okay, and then go the other way. That's called the traveling bar. Let's keep going. The next item is called the rolling method. The rolling method. And so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of roll it over just like we did in the hinge bar. Except this time we're going to play each string as we go along. Okay, so we're going to start with string 6 and then lay it down a little bit, string 5, and then lay it down flat, string 4, and then lay it down, string 3, string 2, string 1. So it's just like the hinge bar, except we're playing each note as we go. Okay, what does that teach you? It teaches you how the 6th string feels under your finger and how it feels to squish that 5th string, and then how it feels to squish the 4th string, and how it feels to squish the 3rd string, and how you have to squeeze the 2nd string, and where to press to hit the 1st string. So try to be aware of your sensations as you go. And that's called the rolling method. Here's another important aspect of the bar chord exercises, and this is called fingertip muting. And this is part of playing songs with bar chords. Here we go. I'm going to play the 5th fret on string 1, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just ever so lightly touch string 2 with the tip of my finger, but not squeeze it. See, I'm not pressing down on string 2. I'm just ever so gently bumping into it as light as I can. And so now string 2 sounds like this. String 2 can't make a noise. My finger is bumping it. Okay, so string 1 I'm squeezing, sounds great. String 2 though, I'm getting just a dead string. Okay, now let's move that over. Now I will play string 1 and 2 with a bar, and I will mute string 3. Keep going, do it on the next string. So now I will bar 3 strings, and then I will touch the 4th string like that. Keep going. Now I will bar 4 strings and I will touch the 5th string with the tip of my finger like that. And finally, I will bar 5 strings and I will just ever so gently touch string 6 so string 6 can't play. Okay, there we go. That's fingertip muting. Let's play that whole exercise. Ready, go. There we go. You got it. One of the most important things to learn with bar chords is how to play squeeze and let go. And you hear this in reggae music and the music of the Police. So you play a bar chord and then you loosen up your finger. And so now I'm not squeezing anymore. So I'm just muting all the strings. And so I'm not getting any notes at all. Okay, squeeze, mute, squeeze, mute. There we go. This is the best way to practice bar chords so you don't tire out your hand. You see a lot of players that are learning guitar, they press down the bar chord and they hold it and they're practicing for 5 or 10 minutes and then after a while they say, my thumb's got a cramp. I've been squeezing that chord for so long, I can barely play now. My hand's too tired. Okay, how do I make it through a 4-hour concert without my hand getting tired? I never hold the bar chord for longer than a half a second, then I let it go. And you could play all day long. Your hand will never get tired. Okay, so the squeeze and let go method, every time you let go, you reset your muscles, and then when you squeeze again, you have your strength again. Okay, so letting go of each bar chord on the beat. That's part of mastering your bar chords. Okay, so if I took an example of an actual real bar chord, like let's say I play an A7, squeeze and let go. Okay, and then let's say I move that chord over 1 string, and now I'm on D minor 7. Then I'll go back to A7 again. Okay, if you're learning bar chords, this would be a great practice. You don't just have one chance to play it. Okay, so if you play it and it doesn't ring out, adjust the fingers, try again. If you didn't get it, try again. If you need to adjust the fingers, try again. If it wasn't perfect, try again. See, we're practicing it hundreds of times in a row. We're not just playing it one time and saying, well, I practiced my bar chord 1 time today. Play it 1,000 times today. Every time you squeeze the chord, it's your chance to try again and really focus it in and get it even better than it ever was before. Okay, let's keep going. The next thing that we should talk about with bar chords is the fact that a lot of players just kind of hold their guitar, or they don't hold their guitar. They just kind of are lazy about how it sits on their lap. And then they go, gee, I'm going to play a bar chord. Ugh, I can't do it, and I don't know why. Okay, the problem is the guitar should be in a space where it's not moving. Okay, you got to hug your guitar. Okay, so put your guitar on your lap, or if you have a shoulder strap, that's cool too. Take your arm, wrap your arm around the guitar and hug it in. And hold on to your guitar and hug it. Okay? Get a firm grasp on it. Okay. Now is my guitar going to move around? What do you think? If you grabbed onto my guitar and tried to take it away, would it go anywhere? No. If someone came up and bumped my guitar, I'm not going to drop it. Okay? It's solidly, I've got a solid grip on the guitar, you see? My arm is holding it. I'm giving the guitar a hug with this arm, and I've got it rock solid held right here. Okay, now if I play my bar chords, I'm going to have a much easier time. Because if I play my bar chord, I can hug over here. See, I'm doing this. If I hug it this way, and I pull on the guitar this way, I'm getting a lot of pressure with my bicep on the strings. I'm using my whole arm like I'm a weightlifter, and I'm pulling the guitar in this way. I'm not just kind of squeezing with my thumb and squeezing with my finger. If your thumb gets tired, it's because you're 100% thumb, 0% arm. Okay? How about 100% arm, 0% thumb? I can play the guitar 0% thumb, see? I don't even need my thumb. My thumb is not even in it, see? My thumb's not even participating. How am I playing a bar chord and I'm not even touching the guitar with my thumb? The answer is I'm hugging the guitar into position so that it won't move. And then I take my finger and I pull on the guitar. And I'm using my arm to pull the guitar strings. I'm not even using my thumb. I got 100% arm, 0% thumb. Okay, so if your thumb gets really tired, you got to move to pulling on the guitar with your arm instead of your thumb. Okay, in reality, if I am on stage giving a concert, okay, maybe I'm doing 50% arm, 50% thumb. And that's more of a realistic situation. But you should learn about how to do a 100% arm, 0% thumb. And that shows you, hey, I can play these bar chords and not tire out my thumb and not tire out my hand. I'll just use my arm to pull on the fretboard like this. And that squeezes the notes for me as long as you've got a good hold over here. Now, if you're not holding the guitar with your arm and it's just kind of loose, okay, now I'm going to play that chord. Okay, I can't I can't do it because the guitar will move. All right, so if your guitar is moving around like this, you can't ever get bar chords. It'll never happen. If it does, then you're just doing 100% thumb squeeze and your hand will get really tired. So, whether you have a shoulder strap or you're sitting down, you got to hug that guitar in with your arm. When you pull on the guitar this way with your arm, it goes like that. And then you take this finger and you pull it this way. And now you're really locking it in with a lot of power. Okay, the next thing that we're going to talk about is the thumb position. So a lot of players will, put their thumb too close to the tuners, or they'll lay their thumb down flat so that it's even with the fretboard, or maybe they've got Jimi Hendrix thumb and it's way out here, or some players have their thumb way too low. And the thing about it is there's almost kind of a twist to it when you play a bar chord. The bar chord twist. Okay, so I might not just pinch straight on, thumb to finger, and play a bar chord this way. I'm going to spin it. I'm going to spin it like this. Okay, so if I turn my hand like I'm changing a light bulb, okay, or I'm turning the doorknob, it's a twist. And so if I twist where my thumb comes toward me, my thumb comes toward my stomach. If I put my fingers like this and I twist, that pushes the chord down. because I'm going this way and the side of my finger is pressing down the frets, and it makes my thumb kind of move a little bit more toward me when I do that. Okay, so I'm not attempting to just squeeze it straight down or just to play the bar chord where I pull the strings directly toward me. I'm actually kind of turning a little bit. And once you get the feel of that turn, you'll always play your bar chords that way every time. Okay, so here's my normal hand position. If I play a bar chord, I have to try really hard. But if I turn it, thumb toward you, fingers go a little bit toward the tuner and ends up landing on the side of the finger instead of the flat part of the finger, it's more on the side, okay? Like this. It's a twist. Okay, so turning the hand really does make a huge difference. Okay, we're on the very last exercise for bar chords. And so this is it. Let's do the last thing. Now, once you get a bar chord, the next thing is, what about all those other fingers? Because I try to play the other fingers too, and it messes up my bar chord. Okay, we've all been there, right? And so let's do every finger possibility there is. Let's practice them all. Okay, so if I have a bar chord on the 5th fret, the first thing I could learn is to play the 6th fret with my middle finger, and I could walk all the way across the strings, right? And maybe those won't make amazing sounding chords, but this is every possible note that that finger could play. Let's play every possible note. Okay, so 6th fret on string 1. 6th fret on string 2. 6th fret on string 3. 6th fret on string 4. Notice how I'm using squeeze and let go. I'm not squeezing the chord this whole exercise. That would be exhausting. Play the chord, now rest. Now play this chord, now stop. Rest your hand. Okay, now squeeze. Okay, now rest. Okay, now squeeze. Now rest. Now squeeze. Now rest. Now squeeze. Now rest. Now squeeze. That's the way to practice. We just did every single string with the middle finger. String 1, string 2, string 3, string 4, string 5, string 6. Okay, got the middle finger out of the way. Now it's time to work on the ring finger. The ring finger can play fret 7, string 2, string 3, string 4, string 5, string 6. There's a whole exercise there. Okay, of course the last one is the pinky. It's going to go on fret 8. Here it goes. Okay, some of those chords don't sound super great, but it's just a finger exercise where we play every single possibility. Okay, what's a little bit more of a actual chord progression that you'd use in a song? Let's go back to A7 and D minor 7. Those are the best 2 bar chords to master first. Okay, so here's my A7. Maybe I'll lift the fingers up and then I'll put them back on again. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing for my D minor. I'm going to play the chord and I'm going to lift the fingers up. Just like that. Okay, if you're really savvy, you can play the bar and then hammer. And if you play D minor, it sounds like this. Okay, like this. And there you go. There's the bar chord exercise. I hope you enjoyed it. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you next time.